Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello, everyone, and the Honorable Lecturer, Ma'am Kusti. So we have a very special today. So let me introduce myself. My name is Harfani Noktasari as a chairperson or moderator in this debate. So serving as our adjudicator in this is Fadia and Dava. All right, we already have the government and opposition team, and the speakers are Nabila Sabra as an opening government, so Aulia as an opening opposition, Mas Devi as a closing government. So and the last is Lydia as a closing opposition. All right, today's debate will bring up a motion about this house police smoking should be banned in the public places. So we'll show process to the debate. So the first, please start the argument. So before that, we start the argument. So please introduce yourself first. So you can to start to giving the argument. All right. Starting from the government team, so Nabila Sabira, please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Nabila Sabira. I'm as opening government.
Hello, my name is Timothy Zara. I'm as closing.
All right, thank you for the government team. So the next is the opposition team. So Alia and Lydia, please introduce yourself.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aulia Nurfitri as opening opposition, and my partner Lydia.
Hello, my name is Divianti as closing opposition.
All right, thank you for this. So we listen to the speech that will be delivered by the speakers from the government team. So Nabila Sabira, welcome. We have 7 minutes for you. Please welcome.
Thank you, Chairperson, for the time. Okay, let me give my argument. As an effort to protect and reduce the impact of smoking on the environment, the government has established laws and regulation related to no smoking or no smoking area. Offering to Article 150 paragraph 1 of the health law, smoking includes healthy care facilities, space for the teaching and learning process where the children play, worship, play. In addition to non-smoking areas that are designated by the central government, local government also have the authority to enforce local regulation. The high level of smoker has an impact on increasing the mortality rate due to the smoking, active smokers and passive smokers. As mentioned earlier, even though there are regulations regarding non-smoking areas, in reality, there are still many smokers who do not heed regulation. In response to this, the government has provided firmness to criminal regulation to be able to criminalize smokers who violate smoking ban. The criminal regulations are regulated in the law of the Republic of Indonesia number 32 of 2010 concerning the prohibition of smoking, which states Smokers who smoke in the prohibited smoking area as referred to in Article 5, Paragraph 2 shall be punished with imprisonment for a maximum of 2 years and maximum of 200 million rupiahs. Regulation related to driving so as not to harm others have been regulated in Article 100 and 100, Paragraph 1 of Law Number 22 years 2009 concerning road traffic and transportation. Everyone who drive a motorized vehicle on the road must drive his vehicle fairly and with firm awareness. In response to many cases like this, the government issues the Minister of Transportation Regulation number 12 of 2019 concerning the protection of the safety of motorcycle used for the interest of the community. Driving are prohibited from smoking and doing other activity that interfere with concentration while riding a motorcycle. If violating the smoking law, as stated in Article Paragraph 1, the violation may be subject to a maximum imprisonment of 3 months or a maximum fine 750,000. In addition to causing addiction, smoking also has a very unhealthy impact on health. According to KPAI 2030, all health experts, including the World Health Organization, who long conclude that smoking many negative impacts, especially for children and their future. Cigarettes contain chemicals with 200 types of which are carcinogenic, can cause a cancer, where this toxic material is found in the main smoke, namely cigarette smoke that inhaled directly into the smoker's lungs, and side smoke, namely cigarette smoke product by the tip of a cigarette burning, for example, carbon monoxide and ammonia. Lastly, if we find people smoking in public, it is very clear that they are wrong and we must admonish them politely. If there are violators who ignore them, we can report them because there are government regulation. I think that's all for me. Go back to the chairperson.
All right, thank you for opening government, Nabila Sabira. So your argument that smoking is unhealthy. All right, we move to furthermore. The first speaker from government team, so Mas Devi, please welcome. Vicky. Sorry, before that, the first speaker is Aulia. So Aulia, we give you 7 minutes.
Okay, thank you for the time, Chairperson. Okay, I will share my opinion about this house believes smoking should be banned in public places. Okay, for the first one, smoking is the pros and cons of society. Some people use smoking as doing more harm than good. But are there still many people who smoke when they know that smoking is bad? And we as the general public must be reminded directly that we will not, even though we know it is dangerous for smokers. We have what I called human rights. When they smoke, they have the right. We as general public must have been given information that smoking is dangerous. Smoking does that. Sorry for the family who are with him, but all of that is useless for smokers because it's their right, and even our effort will not be to change them. Smokers, because they feel they still have their right. Cigarettes, cigarettes are a luxury that provide entertainment, rewards, and belongs to the cultural elite. In addition, the use of cigarettes provide information about a person's personality as much contained in boy film, which is full of adventure and courage. It is from Sukendra in 2007. In this study, research to explore the relationship between image personal symbolism with smoking behavior. Is smoking as a habit, trend, fashion, or smoking become a part of life and culture that cannot be separated from one another? From the statement, then a new term will appear which will be obtained in Indonesian regarding motivation in smoking, but regarding self-image, lifestyle, and also the physical side of consumers who want to get satisfaction in use certain product. Interaction theory symbolic or IS states that people will look with a habit which may different from the cultural order or even common in growing tradition. It's from Jones in 2003. The IS approach will provide further explanation of the interpersonal relationship with smoking, sooner generate from smoking activities, and also the symbolic meaning arise from various smoking activities. And there are several reasons for someone to smoke. Some have took that cigarettes are a source of inspiration when someone experiences saturation point. Stress are the best solution to let go of problems. The prohibition of smoking in public place in oppressing human rights, especially smokers, to ban smoking in public. It's their right, the smokers, because we have human rights. And for the general public who are affected by smokers who smoke in public are commonly what is meant by passive smokers are people who do not smoke but have inhaled cigarette smoke. If you don't want to impact or affect, then you can avoid people who are smoking. We can stay away from smokers if we don't want to get the impact. Or another solution, smokers are still given the right to enjoy it in certain areas which are commonly called smoking areas. Okay, thank you. It's from I will back to chairperson.
All right, thank you, Liana Fitria. This is the best argument. So you have a good refutation. All right, furthermore, Mas Devi Fatimata Zara as the second form government team. So it's welcome to present the argument. So we give you a chance to giving argument. All right, Fatimata Zara, welcome.
Okay, thank you for the time to Mr. Havani as the chairperson. WHO estimates more than 7 million each years. There are about 800,000 passive smokers, while 6.2 million deaths were experienced with active smoke. The high mortality rate of the passive smoker, which reaches 800,000, shows that cigarette smoker become, which rate 800,000, sorry, which reaches 100,000, so the cigarette smoker become very dangerous in health by the general public. Therefore, smoking is a deprivation of the right for the smoker to get clean and healthy air. Of course, it is a natural thing if passive smoker feels less when doing passive smoking in place. This means that tobacco is it's currently responsible for the death of about one in every 10 adults worldwide. In the Cochrane Library Journal of the for February 216, that smoking bans reduce health problem deaths, especially those related to heart disease. It is persuasive this prohibition is profitable. The worldwide implementation of the ban, especially in developing countries with congregate health, could have a major impact on the health of the population. The research specially conducted studies beyond secondhand smoke exposure, such as the relationship between smoking bans and rates of the heart attack, stroke, respiratory problems, infect health, and mortality. In the end, 77 studies from 20 countries, many studies use data from hospitals, national health registries, and workplace. A total of 43 studies specially examined heart attacks, acute coronary syndromes. 33 other examined the association between smoking ban and the radiation in the disease. 6 studies found 5 benefits of risk between the association of smoker and smoking bans. A study from Ireland report a 26% reduction in the deaths from the heart disease and 32% reduction in stroke deaths. If you look at the sum of the research conclusion, this is very strong evidence of the effect its policy and one exposure to secondhand smoke. This indicates that smoking bans are beneficial for respiratory and newborn health. Liz Green said, "Not every city or country has this policy. If then it means the country is protecting the health of the people." And for me, is finished. Thank you. I'm back to Chair.
All right, thank you for Devi. So furthermore, Lydia as a second speakers from opposition team. So welcome to present your argument. So we have 7 minutes to giving your argument. Lydia.
Thank you, Chairperson. First of all, I'd like to talking about human rights. By prohibiting humans from smoking in public places is a violation of human rights itself. Smoking is a human right, and no one has the right to prohibit it, let alone there are issues of cutting because of smoking. The human right to live a healthy life free from cigarettes also does not mean that it then prohibits the human right of smoker by getting of them like a virus. It is clearly evidence of a form of behavior that violates justice and does not apply to the democratic system because smokers have been made objects by those with subjective views. Balance of thinking by include all available point of view and possibilities is not heeded. Likewise, it with human obligation that make justice truly fair so that justice is properly applied. There are many things about freedom in Indonesia. Indonesia is a country that truly upholds human rights and support independence for each individual in terms of human, in contrast to foreign countries such as Singapore and America. Especially, we seem to really support human rights and are very democratic, but smoking is very difficult to do. For many reasons, and regulation made so that there is no such thing as independence, freedom, let alone democracy. As they cannot be implemented in their own country, they are diligently attack other countries to cover up the truth, including Indonesia. So, meanwhile, if you look at the facts and reality, it's more capable of implementing human rights. Being fair and implementing democracy better than others. That was then. Now time have changed and situation have changed. I can no longer say the same. What was done in the two countries was also carried out in Indonesia, especially in Jakarta. The reason used are also the same. There is no variation that is more mature and clear. This is new evidence for me how it is Indonesian identity and has become the same as those countries. Maybe for some, this can be considered as modern progress, but for me, this is of a decline, primordialism, and far from being modern because of backward and primitive thinking. What can be proud of if this continues to imitate and be colonized by the doctrine and talks that dominate so that it continue to be controlled. I still remember when the socialization of this anti-smoking program at the mall was carried out along with the socialization of checking motor vehicle. If you think about it, the possibility of someone getting hurt and so on because of air pollution due to motor vehicle fumes is much higher than cigarette smoke. According to study, motor vehicle fumes containing harmful substances and have the potential to affect healthy by up to 90%. Will cigarette smoke? Not more than 1% only. However, why cigarette smoke is prioritized. In fact, these vehicle fumes not only affect smokers and people who smoke cigarettes, but all when we talk about conspiracy theories, always the possibility that this can happen because there is no strong from outside countries about this motor vehicle smokes. America itself, which has had to deal with acid rain due to industrial air pollution as well as China, has not been able to stop the accelerated growth of industry and motor vehicles. How can it be stopped? The industry industry is the main way to earn income. So how then to cover this big problem? What if not by exaggerating small and trivial? In the era of stupid with such a large percent of people, it is very easy to influence and lead in operation with crazy promotion. People will be easily confident and believe, coupled with the many political and economic problems, the ability and desire to think further is also reduced. If it is true that health issues do smoke are a priority, then why is cigarette smoke being exaggerated and becoming a priority? Why are the rights of smoker being ignored? Like or dislike are relative. If I don't like my employees who watch soap operas because they damage not only physically but even worse, namely thinking and destroy future truth, then do I have the right to ban, fine, and cut the salaries of those who do it? Indonesia is really sad. Yes, they continue to be stupid and fooled, colonized. It's just fun trying hard to be another nation and change one's identity. Deceived and by the onslaught of Rex strategies without ever wanting to learn from history or self. Cigarettes are not new to Indonesian culture and not just an industry if you want to look at it from a different perspective. Clove cigarettes are one of the nation's cultural identity, should be recognized and can be proud of, not inferior to Cuban cigarettes and from other country. Really, why does not
Alright,
anyone want to
Lydia,
make it?
time
It
Alright,
can
thank
you
you for
give
the
can you
opportunity.
give 2 minutes to my conclusion?
Lydia. So the time is up. All right, we have the 28-minute past. So the next of the debate. So thank you for the speakers of it with the more. So sorry because the time is up. So the English debate with Morsi should be banned in public has been completed. So then we leave it to the adjudicator to give an assessment to each debate team. So Fadwa, please.
Okay, thank you, Miss Chairperson. So I will give the me such as the adjudicator will give the conclusion of this debate today, and I will suggest the adjudicators, chief of adjudicators, and I would like to give the opinion about what the government team said. It first becomes the opening governments, and the first point is about the relevance to motion. I think that what Nabila Sobiro as the opening government said is very clear because she is adding the harm of what the people who are smokers will hit himself, and also he add also about the healthy. It's not healthy to smokers in the public space because it can make the other person not really like about the smoke. And about the substance quality was very good, and also it can be acceptable by the audience. And about the closing governments, Ms. Deva, its relevance to the motion. In this case, the clausing given has explained the argument had by showing the data about the dangers of consuming cigarettes by showing a statement from the WHO, which state that is estimate more than 7 million deaths every year. And also there are about 800,000 passive smokers died, while 6.2 million deaths were experienced by active smokers. The high mortality rate of passive smokers, which reaches 800,000, shows that cigarette smoke becomes very dangerous if inhaled by the general public. In this case, it can be said that there is no relevance between the motion given and the explanation given by the closing government, because the motion as submit is regarding this House believes smoking should be banned in public place, but the argument presented about the dangers of smoking to the users himself. And about the substance quality, closing government explained well about the sequence in which they convey the audience by adding supporting arguments, such as the actors they added to strengthen their argument. And also they added two constraint library journal on February 4 to 2016 that smoking bans reduce health problems and death, especially those related to heart disease. But unfortunately, the discontinuity between the motion and the argument you have. Also about the opening opposition, the relevance to the motion in this case, the opening opposition interpret the motion that is this House believes smoking should be banned in public place, and they describe the motion as a violation of the rights people who smoke. And they also add when they smoke, they have right, and its case they use human right to strengthen their argument. And about the substance quality, it's quite good because they start with the opinion about the community, that they strengthen it with the human right of smokers, and they also explain more clearly about the human right of smokers, especially in the dispute motion, what it looks like. And about the closing opposition, she said the relevance to motion. In this case, the level of relevancy to the motion is quite good because the opposition provides an explanation regarding comparing it with the exciting reality, taking explanation regarding comparing about human rights, and also prohibiting human from smoking in public place is violation of human rights itself. Smoking is a human right, and no one has the human right to prohibit it. Moreover, there is the issue of cutting salaries just because of smoking. And the second is about the substance quality, the quality of substance in the arguments presented by the closing opposition team is not strong. I mean, because where the claims are not accompanied by strong support, such as the opinion of expert, and there are no clearly characteristic actors. And about the extension, the closing opposition did not dispute what was explained by the government team. And also here they gave their argument in which they did not dispute the health problems caused by smoking. They explained more about their argument for questioning, and also about human rights, where the desire to equate the human right of those who want to smoke in public place. And the closing government strengthened his argument by adding example to support his argument from the start, such as the health problems due to smoke are priority. Then why is cigarette smoke exaggerated and priority? Why are smokers' human right being ignored? And she also like to keep their argument about the human right. Same what the opening opposition said before. Yeah, that's all of me, Ms. Harvani Rosari.
Now.
Dapat.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, we move to educator, second educator. So Jafar Rafif, please.
Yeah, okay, thank you for the time, Ms. Hirvani, as a chairperson. Talking about the motion of this House believes smoking should be banned in public places. The government said that the high mortality rate of passive smokers, which reaches 800,000, shows that cigarette smoke become very dangerous when inhaled by the general public. Therefore, smoking is a deprivation of the right for passive smokers to get clean and healthy air. And the government has mentioned a lot of sources too, like the researchers specifically did studies beyond secondhand smoke exposure, such as the relationship between smoking bans and rates of heart attacks, stroke, respiratory problems, infant health, and mortality. In short, this indicates that smoking bans are beneficial for, for respiratory and newborn health. Liz Klein says not every city or country has this policy. If there is, then it means the country is protecting the health of its people. In the other hand, the opposition side said that everyone has a right to smoke just as much as they have the right to a healthy life. So everyone is obliged to respect each other and act fairly without exception. There is no exclusivity or fair removal, and there is no freedom when there is always coercion. Everything has many sides that can be seen, and balance is achieved when you are able to think objectively and only prioritize an interest, but uh, but include all related and comprehensive interests. In short, smoking in public places is a human right as long as they still have manners. I think both of team has a point, but the government side has more of sources with supporting their opinion, which is really important because it means their opinion is proven and pretty solid. But let's talk about the deficiency of both sides. I saw that the both team don't use much of mimic. So in debate, you have to mimic an expression so that you can deliver your message to the audience more easily. Thus, the big lesson that can be taken is please use a mimic when you convey your opinion in order to make the audience agree with your idea. So I think that's all. I will back it to moderator.
All right, thank you, board of educators today to give an assessment to each debate team. So, all right, thank you for all of us. So, sorry about my mistake. Thank you for your attention. The best wishes to all of us. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
wabarakatuh.